Peace and blessings to everybody that can hear the sound of my voice, and I hope you pass those peace and blessings on to those who can't. I'm coming to you today late in the year, but not early enough for next year, right? Uh, I wanted to talk, I wanted to entitle this Black People Shouldn't uh, Look to Go to Corporate America. You shouldn't go. There shouldn't be a race to corporate America because we don't have the foundations. So that's a long title. But I'm going to explain what I mean by that as my camera starts to focus. I know it's hard on my camera, me being black and it being designed for a white person. But we'll, you know, mush on, tellio. So what I mean as far as corporate America, black people shouldn't go into it because we don't have a base. We're looking to get a job from someone who is going to have preferential treatment, who's going to have narcissistic tendencies, who's going to be part of a good old boys club, who's going to find loopholes to get in his gay white, cousin or wife or what have you, somebody that is closer to him and also his community than someone who is outside of his community who may make him, and I say him because the majority, um, may make him feel uncomfortable at the workplace. You got to watch your tongue now. You can't say all that slick shit you was just saying. You've been emboldened since Trump. But so what's the alternative? What's the alternative? You can't go to um, the corporate America route. That means why would you go to college, right? And this is right. This is all the way correct, the mundo, right? So let me just get my collar together. Okay, no. It wants to be a bump. I'm gonna make this one a bump too, so that we can. Okay, are we good? Are we good? Yeah, there we go. The camera angle is kind of slightly tilted up. I don't mean to be a authority figure to you, but if the crown fits, my head is so heavy, my neck hurts. Anyway, um, we have to make a base. We have to make an industry. We have to, as melanated people, black people called in America or globally now, which we never gave ourselves that name, um, we have to go back to an industrial revolution. Because what happened was we didn't own any factories during the Industrial Revolution. So what's that mean? That means when the factory jobs closed, and they did, and when they were shipped over to third world countries for lower costs, and they were, black people were without jobs. They started to um, look for opportunities. A lot went, uh, you know, without jobs and started doing crime to make up for it. My family got to eat. I got to put food on the table. Somebody's got to give me a plate or I'm going to snatch it. So, that being said, yeah, things went awry because of the lack of jobs that were in that kind of 60s, 70s, and then obviously crack hit hard in the 80s, but that was due to a lack of jobs. I don't want to be in reality anymore, so I'm gonna do a little drugs because life is hard. Um, but and it's hard when you're being oppressed. I mean, that's a bar. It's hard when you're being oppressed. Yikes! Follow me now. So we have to go back. We have to go back to industrialism because even though we want to be business owners, and it's a beautiful thing to be a business owner, isn't it? It is. But where are we going to get our products? So we have to do business with businesses in order to get our business, right? But the business that we'll go to isn't going to be one of our businesses. So in order to continue circulating, um, money in our community, we have to have industry. We have to have factories. We have to be able to produce. Now, what's this do? So you have manufacturing. Manufacturing. I think I said that right, probably. Two, you have um, wholesale. Three, you got retail. So in between these three, you have logistics. How are these? How are you going to get from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the retailer? So um, let's say you got um, fruit balloons, right? So fruit balloons, and then they have a warehouse, and then you get it at Target, right? So how did it get to a warehouse? Whose warehouse is it? And that warehouse shipping it over to a Target for the end user to go and put a shirt on. Me, I got no t-shirt on. I am so butt naked under here, but that's why they call it clothes. Anyway, um, so that's one example, right, of going back to an industrial age. But we also have to go back with um, farming. Using technology to farm better, using um, not only farming but doing construction. You know, um, so we need to be able to build a house and maintain a house. So what's that mean? You build a house from the ground up, right? That means you know about the machinery, where you're leveling the dirt. You are um, building the structure. You are doing the electrical work. You're doing the plumbing work. You're doing the roofing work. You're doing the flooring, the cabinets, and then the HVAC. So, what this does is it allows for entrepreneurship, somebody who has a skill to maybe even team up with others to go and get with a realtor, buy a property, look into um, foreclosed homes, get with um, people like, you know, NFL players, famous rappers. And if they have their head on straight, you can tell them about investing. What's that investment mean? That investment means that you're going to give us the raw material, and well, you're going to give us capital, not raw material. Don't get that twisted. Capital so that we can buy the house, buy the raw material, and renovate the house. Once renovated, we can sell it, we can rent it, um, and at that point down the line, you will be able to be compensated for your investment at whatever the interest that attracts them could be. So, um, because you're doing all the work, you have a lot of negotiated interest that you can obtain and fluctuate with. So going back, instead of trying to go into a corporate America where we have to be selected for a job, we have to go back to where we create our own jobs. We have to be able to use our hands. Mechanics, where are they? You know what I mean? So if we can have the mechanic shop, if we could have the flooring company, I mean, we don't have to actually sell the damn floor tiles. We can just beat them out like putting them in. You know, we don't have to we don't have to do it on all levels immediately, but we have to get back to creating, um, and that creation, like I said, definitely needs to be in factories, because the way you can flip over a factory from making one product to making another product, it's the best thing smoking. So there isn't much time left, and I don't know if people know that there's not much time left because there is so much being done on the side of technology. Technology is going to lock us into a system, um, where to be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps is no longer going to be an option. You know what I mean? You're going to not only be oppressed because of your what they call race, but also what they call class. So you're going to be oppressed by your class, oppressed by your race, and how are you going to get up when there's no opportunity because of technology? You see what I'm saying? People don't understand that technology is taking away a lot of these jobs already. When you think about automated systems, when you think about going online, you call on the phone, what do you get? You don't get a person. Even though they can get a person from India or whatever, Czechoslovakia, but they're going to, direct you to online access because it drives down their costs. They're the company that needs people to buy from them. But if you don't have an alternative on who to buy from, you don't have purchasing power. And I tell people all the time, the only power you have is your purchasing power. Power is synonymous with influence. So your purchasing influence, what does influence do to a market? It influences it, right? So you are able to influence change in that market based on your buying habits or your buying restrictions. I'm not going to buy blood diamonds. I'm not going to buy blood chocolate. I'm not going to give my money to someone who is adversely racist or sexist or classist. I'm not going to support a movie that doesn't give me but one aspect of a black male, and which happens to be a homosexual who's flamboyant. This is what we got. We got to understand the weapons that we have. We have to understand the advantages we have and the disadvantages we have, so that we can go. I don't want to say war, because it's one of those touchy things, but we have to go on the offensive when it comes to bettering the country, because we are a part of the country from day one. Before there was a country, we were here. Before there were any settlers, before there were any Norse people, we were here. Before even Africans touch foot on the plains, we were here, mayhaps, when we maybe came with them. Who knows? It doesn't matter, but we've been here for thousands of years. You know what I mean? So we have to be advantageous to the opportunities, which are, we have to dial it back. We can't. Um, so here's the thing. We have to make sure that it's attractive to work for a black business. Not own a black business, but work for a black business. It's attractive to support black businesses. We have to make this attractive so that not only our community, but other communities starts to invest and buy into it. A lot of times we don't have the human resource to really move in the ideal way when it comes to operating a business. And we try to depend on our family, which may or may not be shady, but we don't have anybody else that we can pay, or we don't know how to negotiate with payment in order to get somebody who is, let's say, uh, knowledgeable and efficient at a skill set that we need for our company to run smoothly, right? So we have to um, get into the trades. We have to get into the trades. We have to get into everything dealing with a house, everything dealing with a car. Get into that. And then also agriculture, because we have to know that the only way we're going to have food meant for our diet and lifestyle is going to be food produced and manufactured by us. Definitely was big with the NOI, and been talking for a minute. Got a little raspy, but we're back at it though. If we can have a focus, and I mean that literally. So we have to get back to the agricultural, um, and we got to get into medicine and science and technology. So the the push is trades, agriculture, science, or science and technology, science slash technology, whatever, and health, as far as understanding what they already know. Definitely pertaining to melanin, because melanin is a rich substance that everything you hear with melatonin, melanesis, whatever it is stemming from melanin, right? So is that a advantage for us to have melanin? And how do we take advantage of our melanin? And what is health for a melanated person? Do we need daily sunlight? Um, and on that food consumption, or so-called food, what do we need to consume? You know what I mean? So those things are four things. I thought I had another things because I wanted to do five. Fifth, one, two, three, four, fifth. I didn't have five though, so whatever. But um, well, probably the fifth is education. You know, you throw education in there all the time, you know, blah, 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 blah. But education is definitely going to be a part of all of the other ones. So I didn't really include it, but you can. Is it my eyebrows that's got this so discombobulated? Anywho, um, this push is what we need. We have to get out of coming to you or coming to them with our hand out saying, could you give me? Could you give me? Could you give me a job? Hmm? Could you give me a raise? Inflation's going on right now because of COVID, and ain't nobody saying that. Could you give me a raise? Um, could you give me a better position? I was college educated now. We can't keep doing what we have been doing and looking for different results. That's insanity. We have to go to what works. And once we have the base, then we'll have more money circulating, more money circulating. Then we buy the corner store, or we can build a corner store. Build a corner store. Build the gas station. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, or rebuild it, or revamp it. Whatever needs to be done. But obviously, you have to use your influence in your community, which I mean your power, which I mean your purchasing power, which I mean your monies, to influence your community. Oh man, every time I go in this store, they looking at me crazy. They're walking around, they following me. You might steal. I'm not gonna say you don't steal. You might steal. They might have a right to follow your motherfucking ass. But what if your family had more money because there was more money circulating in the community? Would you need to steal? No. What if that person looked like you and said, nah, take that, Diddy style, right? So we have to know that it's up to us. And there's been some balls dropped. You know, I've read this book that I'm reading now, The Miseducation of the Negro, talks about how the educated Negro wanted to distance themselves from the uneducated Negro because they felt like they were of better stock, but they were still in the same neighborhood, but they couldn't really communicate because of a higher education or whatever. They wanted to be white, is what the book was referring to, but they couldn't. So now they have some kind of slight against the people that they live around. But that drove people out as soon as they were able to. Obviously, the educated ones went first, having the jobs that paid money to allow them to exit the community. But we have to do a better job of enriching the community because everybody wants to leave the community for their community. Why is that? It's a good question. Why is that? Because it's new. It's new. New. Smell like it. Why is it new? Because they just left your motherfucking ass. Why did they leave? It's something called white flight. Anytime too many black people get around white people, they feel like they aren't in the right area anymore because now black people can live around them. And because of the dehumanization and propaganda that America has for black people, they think, I don't want to live around these bad people. So I will uproot myself to somewhere that is more pristine, more safe, because obviously they came with crime. Um, so what happens? They leave, property goes down, people come in, investors buy houses, they put people in low income, the government will pay for their housing, um, but they don't have the right mindset, they don't have the right circle of people. They might still have some people that are who've been brainwashed to think that they are the person that is depicted on the television, who think that they are the person that's depicted with the rapper, with the movie, with the TV show. So um, they only know one way to be and to be accepted. So they become a caricature and want to be accepted. So you have an outline of what black is, and you choose to enforce what black is by saying, "Oh, you ain't black. Oh, black people don't do that." And reinforcing stereotypes of what black is when you didn't even create black. So people come into the neighborhood. People, um, you know, do what they think they should do, and the neighborhood goes down. Not only that, but people don't know um, how to maintain a community. Um, Not only the houses, but the sidewalks, um, the buildings, the restaurants, the mom and pop shops. You know, we will allow our dollar to go to Walmart to be stretched farther, but we don't know that we're putting out someone who is business minded, who is for the community and has a higher price, but because they have that higher price, they're viewed as less than, or less attractive, and don't want to do business with them, and they ultimately lead to a business failure. So I say all that to say, yes, we have to know the government, the local government. We have to know the policy. We have to know the maintenance, um, so that we can keep it looking nice. Well, one thing about um, these so-called black people is their idea of where to throw their trash. So in a community where black people try to escape to, where there are more white people or other people, non-blacks, um, they will say, "Oh, look how pristine it is! Look how pleasant it is! It's so clean." But they don't think, why do I accept someone throwing food out of my car or trash out of my car when I was living in that neighborhood? Why did I accept to allow people to throw trash in my yard? So it's a thing where we allow for others to dictate our environment when we could dictate their behavior through the environment, because that's what happens when this family uproots themselves from their black roots and goes into a white pond where now they're being isolated and looked at every turn, which would entail cause them to refrain from any type of unwanted social behavior. This video is long enough. I can go on for days. But till the next time, be blessed, be brave, and be brilliant. Peace.